So maybe you've heard this before, and I know it can seem so annoying because it did to me when I first heard it, that circumstances don't matter. I remember watching a YouTube video and somebody telling me that circumstances don't matter. You just have to do this, this, and this. And she just kept saying that over and over. Circumstances don't matter. I'm like, you don't understand my situation. You don't understand what I'm going through. I'm like, my stuff is a big deal. And I'm not here to tell you that your stuff isn't a big deal. I'm just here to tell you that when I understood this and I saw this from a different perspective, I was able to make that shift where my circumstances didn't matter anymore. So that's why I'm here on YouTube making videos, because I want to share helpful information. I'm like, hey, this helped me. I know what it feels like to feel desperate, because at that point when I was watching that video, I was willing to pay $3,000 for the program to the person that was selling it, saying this is how you fix your circumstances. But I want to tell you that you can do it here today by giving you this info. Different perspective. Number one, you have to understand that problem that you have, whatever you're going through that feels overwhelming, that was something that happened because a belief that you had about yourself, whether it's conscious or subconscious. It was a reality that was created. And because that was something that you had and that you created, you have the ability to create something else, that you have that ability. And to understand, number two, that you are in that situation because you are aware of that situation. So it's like having a pimple on your face that you're just picking at it all the time, and it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. The more awareness that you give to that situation, the more evidence that you look for, and the more desperation that you have, or the more that you're going around telling that old story, the more that story is going to become your story and your state that you're in. This is often when people say, I can't manifest. They can't because they're stuck in that story. So yes, they are manifesting, but it isn't something they desire. So they are creating that, but it may not be what they desire, and they may not realize that they have that ability to change that, or the reality that they are creating that. And so because of that, and realizing that you had that problem and that you are not going to, making that awareness that you're not going to live in that anymore, that you're not going to make that your story, your situation, and that you have that ability to quantum leap, that to shift and make that movement, that's when that circumstance doesn't matter anymore, because you create a new reality. I did a couple videos back about quantum leap and shifting, and that's when it changed for me. Otherwise, I thought you had to hope and wish and pray and convince and beg somebody, and that's how you quantum leap. No, it's the awareness that you have. It's the awareness that you're creating, that you're just calling back your power, and you're setting that intention of what it is that you do desire in your life. You can become a completely different version of you. There are multiple versions. There are multiple versions of that problem. There are multiple versions of yourself, of your person that it is you desire, your job, whatever that it is, that even lump sum of money that's all looking for you, that you're just aligning to that you're like, hey, this is my desire, this is my story, this is my recipe that I'm calling in, and that I'm aligning to that version of me now, and that you are so solid in that story that you can be in that, can sit in that version of you, of how you feel, how you dress in that version, how you are in that version. If you feel like it's something that you have to completely change, or it can just be that quick change where this has no power for me anymore. So you can select multiple versions, multiple realities, but being aware that there's a version here that you don't desire, and the version of how you want to make that work in your favor, then, and being in that's when you made that shift. That's when you made that quantum leap. You're just selecting a different version. You're just selecting a different reality that's conforming around you. But you have to understand, you cannot be in the two versions. You can't be going around complaining or looking for evidence or wondering where your manifestation is. If you're looking for your manifestation, you don't have your manifestation. You have to have it, to be in that version. So you can be in that now, or you can still live in that old version of the circumstances. So becoming aware of the power that you have, creating what it is that you desire. And I know myself personally, when I first learned about my ability to create, I had to start small. I had to go, okay, I always see red apples, and today I'm going to see 10 red apples. And that was how I built my ability to know that I had that to create what it is that I desire. And I was calling the shots, and I was like, hey, this is what I want, and this is what I'm going to see more of in my life. And then things started to move and shift in my favor, and I didn't have to look for signs. I was just having fun. It was like a game. Instead of being like I was powerless, I had my power back and I was making things happen. And now it can be just a thought, and then something amazing shows up at my door. So knowing that you have that ability to call your power back, and you don't have to live in that old state unless you want to. If you want to keep living that old way, then sure. If you want to say your circumstances matter, then they matter. But if you don't, and you want to call your power back and you want to create something new, this is how you do it. By being aware of what it is that you desire and living in that no matter what it is. If you feel like you're struggling and it's something that feels overwhelming to you, I do offer the one-on-one on my website because I enjoy helping people, giving them a different perspective, something that you might not be aware of, to help you move and to shift into that new norm. Like it's just getting used to that state. And I want to say something else that I feel like is really important too, and I often hear this with manifestation coaches talking and saying, well, when everything falls apart, that's how you know you get your manifestation. And that doesn't necessarily is true. But if it does, if you feel like everything's getting better and better, and that things fall apart, it doesn't mean you're not going to get what is your desire. It means you're getting used to that new reality. It doesn't always happen, but if it does happen, if that's something that happens to you, then just know it doesn't mean you're not going to get what you want. It just means that you're getting used to that new norm. I like to compare it to when someone loses weight. Like when I lost a bunch of weight, I remember some guy walking by and like giving me kind of a weird look and thinking, oh no, he thinks I'm fat. And then putting on my fat pants and having them be huge. I mean, like, it wasn't because I was fat. That was just in my head thinking that it was that he was intimidated by me or something along those lines. I changed the story in my head that I wanted to make that my new norm instead of feeling in that tailspin, because I was starting to tailspin thinking, oh, I'm not, attractive or beautiful. No, I'm just getting used to the new normal, just getting used to that and taking back that power, that ability to create, and knowing that your circumstances don't have to matter to you. You can get exactly what it is, and you're just aligning to that and making that your new norm. And I appreciate you watching this video. I like to make videos to share helpful information, and I love seeing people become the best version of them, because you never know what you're going to create. You never know who you're going to help and what you're going to become by helping somebody become the best version of them as well. So thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.